main event. We had Alexander Volkov versus a jacked Sergei Pavlovich, man.
Yeah,
Looking massive.
Yeah, I fucking love Volkov, dude. I've always been a fan. The guy's hilarious. If you watch his like Instagram videos and shit he makes, he's so goddamn funny. And he's just seems like he's always at the cusp, and then he fumbles a little bit. Like the Derek Lewis fight, he's up 5 rounds and then gets caught with like 20 seconds left or whatever it was, and you're just like, no, it was so close. Um, he's one of those guys. Once he started bulking up and started sitting on his punches more, it made him more effective at, like, I don't want to say point fighting, but like he's always been a very well-rounded fighter who can go the distance and outpoint you really. But once he bulked up and started really sitting on his punches and stuff like that, I think it kind of negates the Derek Lewis comeback opportunities, because not only is he point fighting you, but now he's punishing you for trying to come in, and he'll freeze you like he did in this fight.
He did a couple times.
Very cool things, dude.
Okay, so let's get started here. We had Pavlovich, solid jab to start off, right? But then the thing that Pavlovich started doing is he'd land a jab, he'd take a step back, and then he'd start winding up from the hip, trying to come in with the right hook, left hook combo. But when he was doing that, Volkov would come straight down like with that jab.
Yeah.
Look, there's a picture of it right there.
From the heavens, dude. He's so tall.
Yeah. And he would stop Pavlovich in his tracks.
Yeah.
Right? I thought that was beautiful.
One thing I really liked that he did when he was in Southpaw, he'd throw that sidekick, that stomping sidekick to the lead leg, and then he'd come down with the lead jab. So he's going right leg stomp and jab on the same side immediately after. So every time Pavlovich was trying to counter off the kick, it's like, no, I'm eating a jab. I can't yet. And it's like, it was such like a bam, bam, like almost like the Nate Diaz 1-2, where the two's like right behind it.
Right behind
he's
it,
throwing,
yeah.
He's throwing, except it's that stomp to the lead leg to the jab. And then he would exit out. He'd weave to his left to exit out. And eventually Pavlovich started throwing the right high kick. And I was like, at first I was like, that's a perfect combo and exit from Volkov, because like I don't really see Pavlovich throwing a right high kick to time the weave. And then he started doing it a little bit later on, but you could tell it's like not very good at
it. Yeah. But right idea.
Yeah, right idea.
But, hey, shout out Ganskow as well. Thanks for joining us.
Hey.
HB Comer saying Volkov is a character. There's a great thread on Reddit explaining the whole dynamic between the two. Basically, a rocket scientist versus a meathead.
Yeah, because there was some weird dynamic in this where when they announced the fight, they were like, this is one of those classic UFC announcing a fight before any fighters even agreed to it. And they were like, what? We're not going to fight. We're friends. Volkov's like, we're friends. We train together and stuff. Pavlovich's like, we're not really friends. We just train together. But in the face-off, Pavlovich was like, he was pissed that Volkov, he found out that Volkov accepted the fight before him. And he was like, what the fuck? Like, why would he accept it? But then Volkov thought the same thing. I think they just tell each other, like, yeah, they already signed it, so like you should sign it. And then they're like, oh, okay, because the UFC's lying like that. UFCs are like cops in investigations, they just lie to you.
Yeah.
But then so there's a little bit of bad blood there. And yeah, I saw that thread too. It is a really good thread because Volkov is fucking hilarious, dude. The guy's a straight up character. And I think that, and like, he even says, like, I think Pavlovich doesn't like me because he doesn't get the humor. He's like, basically, like, he's too meatheady to even like understand what's happening. So he's like, takes everything at face value, which is so funny.
Thank you. I mean, he's not wrong, though.
He's not wrong, dude. But yeah, Pavlovich, they kept kind of saying he was gun shy. I don't think he was gun shy. I think he was just getting punished every single time he tried something.
I think he was trying to figure out a puzzle.
Yeah.
And I think he was trying to figure out a puzzle.
Nice.
The footwork, Pavlovich, they were talking about how he has longest reach in the UFC. But you know what beats that reach? Allegedly, yeah. But you know what beats that reach is Volkov's height and his kicks, dude. He had beautiful kicks to the liver over and over again. He had fantastic hair. Dude, come on. How good was that? They're like, hey, in between rounds, they were combing his hair. And HLB Comer's already pointed out a couple of times that he said that hair combing was top tier.
Yeah, so good, dude. So good.
That's so funny.
Look, if you're fighting and you have a long reach, coming in with hooks isn't necessarily gonna accentuate your reach. You know
Yep.
what I mean? And
Yep.
I think they said it was like a 4-inch reach advantage or something like that. So they say. A lot of fighters will say that the UFC's never even measured their reach. But Volkov, like one of the best examples is like if you stand there and put your hand up against the wall, like a fist up against the wall, and then you move your hand up, it's now off the wall by like 3 inches. So it's
Yep.
like if you're punching up, you're losing an inch by punching up to a taller guy. So Volkov's ability to fight behind the jab, behind the kicks, the left body kick. Oh my god, dude, by the way.
So
And his
good.
southpaw,
He landed so
so
many
good.
times.
Yeah. I mean, he just fought. We've talked about it all the time, and unfortunately we have to beat up on Stefan Struve, but Stefan Struve rarely fought to his physical attributes. Volkov has fought to his physical attributes very well, especially the height.
Stefan Struve, dude. That guy's gotten beat up more by us than he has in the actual fights, man.
I
Poor
know,
guy.
dude.
Anytime there's a tall fighter that fights tall, Struve's
Yeah,
name gets brought up, dude. I feel so
yeah.
bad for that guy. Hey, shout out
Great
Struve,
guy.
though.
Great guy.
Great guy. Yeah. But hey, fantastic game plan by Volkov. Very well
Execution's
executed.
beautiful.
By the end of the fight, man, Pavlovich was wearing it, dude.
And
Wearing it.
pissed.
Frustrated. Super
Yeah.
frustrated. Right?
To the
He
point
goes,
where he pushes him.
I just tried to tell him good fight.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Maybe he mad.
Yeah.
It's
Dude,
so
the
funny.
picture of him after the push. There's one picture of the push in here, and then there's another picture of after the push. So there's the push after the fight, and then the after one, Volkov is just smiling, dude. Oh my god,
Oh,
dude.
dude.
Yeah.
Uh,
Volkov said the hair combing was requested by his mother so that her son looks beautiful. And then
dude,
the thing with Volkov is you never know if he's like, that might be true, or he's just like, that's funny. I'll just say that.
well, how funny too, where he's like, who was it? DC was like, oh, well, I know he got a new haircut, so he wants to keep it looking good. And Anik is so good, dude, because he just plays off of anything that's going on. He's like, that's a good read there, champ.
Yeah.
And they just keep on rolling like nothing was ever said, dude. So good, man. So good. All right, but hey.
Yeah, look at the legs on Volkov, though, after the fight.
Ooh, a little beat up, huh?
Yeah.
Landing so many kicks.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Slamming him with kicks.
So for Volkov, what do you do, Will? What do you do?
I don't know. We're now at the point where we're really starting to feel the effects of this John Jones debacle at heavyweight.
Yep.
Because you start to have, as the champ sits out, you have other fighters winning and rising through the ranks and knocking at that door.
So this probably drops Sergei to 5, maybe, right?
Yeah.
This moves Alexander Volkov up. What do? Do you have the top 4 continue fighting each other at that point? Do you put Pavlovich versus Almeida?
Maybe, but maybe you do Volkov versus Gane if Cyril Gane takes a fight. Apparently, he's just been turning down fights left and right. But like, dude, at a certain point, you got to lose number 2 if you're not taking fights. But they're doing Aspinall versus Blades. John Jones is whatever is happening with him and Stipe. So like, Volkov needs to fight up for this. Ganskow says heavyweight will be way more fun once JJ and Stipe are gone. Yeah, it's just like, why are we doing this still? Why are we doing this still? Just if you really want it, dude, if it's about legacy and shit, just make some random bullshit belt called like the Legends belt or some shit and have them fight. And then we can just move on with the division because like, dude, come on. Like, why are we doing this?
I know. Holding it up, dude. Holding it up.
Who's that fight for? Does anybody actually want that fight now? John Jones, Stipe?
When it first was announced, I was like, give it to me now. And now I'm like, dude, let's get the belt to somebody else. Let's get Tom Aspinall a fight. Let's turn that into the actual belt. They want to have a to your point, right? Like a Legends fight. Who's going to go down as the best heavyweight in the history? Cool. Give me Tom Aspinall versus Cyril Gane.
The Curtis Blaze fights, is it 304 they're doing that? Whatever the London card is. Like, just make that the real belt.
Yeah.
And people will say like, oh, the interim champ should never defend the belt. And it's like, no, that's not the case. In my opinion, the interim champ should defend the interim belt until the champ comes back. The problem is John Jones coming back to fight a different contender instead of unifying. That's where it becomes a problem. I think we've talked about this approach.
Hey everybody, Romero and Will here. Thank you so much for watching that short clip. It's just a small clip of what we covered this last Sunday.
Yeah, if you want to check out the full fight card recap, the link is in the description, and it's going to be on screen at the end here. Don't forget to go back and watch our fighter interviews that we have. And don't forget to tune in live every Sunday morning at 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 p.m. Eastern, and you can join in on the fun.
Yeah, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Goes a long way. All right, everybody, thanks for watching that short clip from Story of the Fight.